This is clip 85. Find a percentage of amount 2 using non-calculator methods with 10%. So remember the clip before we've just done? One of the key building blocks for percentages were 10%, 5%, 25%, 50%, 1%. So in this one we're going to focus on using 10. To get 10%, we divide by 10 because 10 lots of 10 make 100%. So first one. First of all, just to notice there's two different words, work out, evaluate. They mean the same thing. So in terms of literacy, you need to remember that evaluate means the same as work out. So the first question, first thing we're going to do, like the last clip, we're going to work out how we're going to get 55%. So what adds up to make 55%? Well, I could do 50, and then I could add on 5%. So we have to work those two out for 500 and add them together. So how do you get 50% of 500? Two ways. One, 5 lots of 10, or you could just work out 50%. So 50%, which is half, so that was divided by 2. Half of 500 is 250. Next one we need is 5%. Well, how do we get 5%? There's two ways. The focus of this is using 10% because that's the most important one to use. So 10% of 500 is 50. So what's the proportion between 10 and 5? So half of 10 makes 5. So if I half 10%, I get 5%. Therefore, if I half 50, I would get 25. So if I add those two together now, I get 55%. So I've lined up my place value wrong there. So 250 take away 25. Sorry, add 25 is 275. And that is 55%. Second one. So this time you got decimal. Don't worry. Try and spot how you would make this 7.5. Okay, so what can we do? There's loads of different ways. There's never always one correct way of doing it. There's a number of different ways you can do it. So 47.5, well, you could do 50, take away 2.5%, and you get 47.5. Or you could do 4 lots of 10%, then try and work out what 7.5 is, work that out, and add them together. Now, from that, I think this one is easier than this one. So we know 50% is divided by 2. So half of 800 is 400. Half of 90 is 45. So 50% would be 445. So we need to find 2.5%. Right, so if I start with 10, 10% is 89. Divided by 10. 5% is half as much again. Half of 80 is 40, and half of 9 is 4.5. Notice the link between 445 and 44.5. So 5% is 4.5. Sorry, 44.5. And that means that I'm trying to find out 2.5, so the next one. This is where it becomes more difficult. Non-calculator using decimals. So if I know that 5% is 44.5, how am I going to get 2.5%? Well, if I divided by 2 to get that, I divide by 2 again, I would get 2.5% because 2.5 times 2 is 5. So half of 44.5, let's break it down. Half of 44 is 22. Half of 0.5, half of a half is a quarter, or 0.25. So 2.5% is 22.5. So let's go back to the original. This is where it becomes really complicated because you've got so much working out. Go back to the original and see what you were doing. So I want to go from this, what we're going to do. Well, 50% is 445. And then I've got to take away 2.5, which is 22.25, which I've got from here. So So I've got to do 445 minus 22.25. Best way of doing it, write the place value in the right place. Zeros. Okay, so I can't do this. I've got to carry over from the 5. So cross the 5 becomes 4. That carries to 1, but I've still not got it there, so that becomes 9. That becomes 1. 10 take away 5 is 5. 9 take away 2 is 7. 4 take away 2 is 2. Don't forget a decimal point. 4 minus 2 is 2. And 4 take away 0, which is 4. So 422.75 is 47.5%. Okay, that's quite a difficult question to do. So I would suggest, if that's the one you're struggling on, practice those ones. Remember, written methods is the most important thing for these questions. Okay, third example. So you'll notice this is more than 100%, which you can have. You can always have more than 100%. If you start with 100%, which is your starting amount, and you make 35% profit, the amount you've got at the end is 135%. So you can have more than 100%. Okay, so break it down again. Same as these two questions. 100 plus, right, what can we add? Well, we can add 30% on, and we can add 5% on, and that would give us 135. So we know this is 1800. This is 3 lots of 10. So what's 3 lots of 10? Well, 10% is 180. So that means that will be 3 lots of 180. And that will be 540. So I've got 1,800, 540, and I need 5%. Well, we've just worked out 10% is 180. That means 5% will be 90. Because it's half. So we've got to add those 3 numbers together. So 1800 plus 540 plus 90. Right, I'm going to do this written down. 0, 3, carry the 1. 9 plus 4 is 13, carry the 1. 1 plus 2, 2, 3, 3, 0. So that is 135% of 1800. Notice that's the number you started with, and that is 100%. The answer you've got is more because you've got a higher percentage than 100. So if it's increasing, it's gone above 100%, then your answer will always be more than. Okay? Okay, you can now have a go at those questions on CLIP 85.